All right, guys. The Cowboys are apparently hiring Brian Schottenheimer to be their next head coach. That deal's supposedly going to get finalized later today. This was my concern. And if you haven't watched the video we already made earlier today announcing the news that Schottenheimer's probably going to get the job, go back and check it out. But I wanted to get kind of in the back end of how in the hell did we get here? And for all of you that were concerned about Jerry needing to let control go to somebody else, well, he's fielded control to Steven over the last couple years. How well has that gone? The off seasons have been horrific. Now we're in the midst of maybe the worst head coaching search, interview, process, hiring of all time. And this is what I've kept saying. Is Jerry perfect? No. Has Jerry made mistakes? Yes. Jerry needs to get his hands back on the wheel because Steven is driving this off the road. That offseason last year, the horrificness of that roster construction, that's what it's going to look like every year with Steven. Because that was Steven's doing. Brian Schottenheimer is who Steven is pushing for in the building, and this would have already been done at the beginning of the week. But Jerry's the one pushing back, going, I don't know. I want an experienced guy. I want somebody a little bit more surefire results than a guy who's been fired 3 times in 5 years. I don't know, Steven. I don't think this is a good idea. And now Steven, again, is flexing his muscle in the building, saying, hey, you told me I could run this thing. Let me run it. But how did we get here? The Cowboys couldn't figure out what they wanted to do with Mike McCarthy. So Mike Vrabel, who was my top candidate for the job, which I wanted Vrabel, Ben Johnson, or Deion Sanders. Those were my 3 top candidates. But so let's look at all the coaches that they passed. Because in reality, hire anybody. Hire Robert Saleh. Hire anybody other than Brian Schottenheimer. Vrabel gets the deal done before McCarthy's even out the door. Ben Johnson, they don't even call, gets the deal done with the Bears before they even call him, interview him, and if they didn't have interest, that makes him even stupider. Aaron Glenn, who played for Dallas, gets the Jets job before they even interview him. Now, apparently, they had a loose conversation the other day with Pete Carroll before they even request an interview. Hired as the Raiders head coach. So we've passed on, over the last few years here, with this whole Mike McCarthy dilemma, we've passed on Sean Payton, Bill Belichick, now Deion Sanders, Mike Vrabel, Ben Johnson, Aaron Glenn, Pete Carroll, hell, even Rex Ryan. I'll take anybody. Jerry needs to get his hands back on the wheel because this is going off the road. We interviewed one guy.